Here's a question for you. Does MLB have a culture problem? This is related to the Angel Hernandez lawsuit, but has nothing to do with Angel Hernandez. Let's explain. In the lawsuit, Angel is suing the league for racially motivated discrimination, and he factually cites that Rich Garcia was the last full-time minority crew chief. That it was in the 90s. The lawsuit was filed in 2017, so nearly 20 years go by, and the last minority crew chief was indeed full-time, was indeed Richie Garcia. So now, depositions happen. Randy Marsh, who at the time supervisor director for umpires of the league, is under deposition, and he brings up Richie Garcia. And Richie Garcia finds out, and he doesn't like it. Let's get into this a little bit further. Richie Garcia's quote is, "I work too hard to keep a good reputation in baseball for these people to just come out and say whatever the hell they want, to just say things out of the clear blue sky. I've kept my mouth shut all these years because of my son-in-law. I keep my mouth shut because I'm protecting him and my daughter. I'm just sick of it." So what happened? Apparently, this was what happened under deposition. Randy Marsh said, they're talking about discipline of umpires for misconduct. And Randy Marsh is saying, yeah, Angel got in trouble because there was a Homer Bailey perfect game no-hitter. He was trying to get memorabilia related to it for the umpire who had called it. You're not supposed to do that, and so he got in trouble for it. It happened to me, and oh, by the way, Richie Garcia was a supervisor, and he got fired because we told him not to go see Vic Carapazza, his son-in-law, work a game when Vic was in the minors, and he went and did it anyway, and that's why we fired him. And Richie Garcia is saying, that's not true. I'm upset. To quote the AP, fed up. That's not true. Please, the record has to be set straight, because that's wrong. And what's really interesting is the AP reached out to Randy Marsh, and he confirmed that he got the deposition wrong. He told the AP in a telephone interview that he spoke incorrectly during his deposition, and he wanted to set the public record straight, saying, "I had no idea what reasoning they gave him for being fired, had heard from working with Rich Riker." Again, that's hearsay. It's weird. And the end of the quote is, "I probably misworded it when I was deposed. It shouldn't come out like that." Now, deposition is a court proceeding. You either swear or affirm to tell the truth. When you don't tell the truth, and that could be construed as perjury if they can show that you willfully lied or withheld information, whatever it is. It's a simple court proceeding. It's just like being in court as a witness. So it's very interesting that after the deposition, after everything goes final, Marsh now tells the AP, "Oh yeah, I got the deposition wrong. I was inaccurate. It didn't happen that way. I spoke incorrectly." He spoke incorrectly during the deposition. That's rather unusual and interesting to tell the media that during an active lawsuit, unrelated to Rich Garcia, of course, but nonetheless, Rich Garcia has been very consistent for years, way before the Angel Hernandez lawsuit, but for years, saying that he wanted people to know he did not pull strings, no nepotism, he didn't do anything special to get Vic Carapazza a job. He's cheering him on because he's related to him, but I've been on many committees where you recuse yourself because it's a family member or something you have a conflict of interest financially or otherwise in. You just step out of the room. You're still on the board. You still do your supervisory job. But when it comes time to a conflict of interest situation, i.e. evaluation, in this case would be of Vic Carapazza, you just recuse yourself and it's like, you guys have at it, I'm stepping away. I'm not doing anything. The quote from Garcia is, "I wanted to clear his ability to be a big league umpire and not have people think he got there because of me." So it's really, what set him off specifically was Randy Marsh's deposition. It appears to be Randy Marsh's deposition where he says that he got fired for seeing Vic Carapazza work when he wasn't supposed to. And because of the family thing, that really that made him fed up. And to have Marsh say that he misspoke under the deposition, he was incorrect about that under oath, where you're supposed to tell the truth, and you have a chance during deposition at the end of it, you're supposed to be able to correct any misstatements that you had during it, and it doesn't appear that necessarily happened. You see where I'm kind of going with this? It's a very odd situation. I just want to point out really quickly that it's really interesting to me that Angel Hernandez is suing the league for racially motivated discrimination based on the Hispanic characteristic, that Richie Garcia was cited as the last minority Hispanic crew chief in baseball, and both Hernandez and now Garcia seem to have an issue with the league or one of its employees or former employees. It's really interesting that they share that characteristic and they both have a problem with baseball, which again leads to the question, Is there a culture problem in Major League Baseball? I just want to add a third party's voice to this because Joe West, the head of the Umpires Union at the time when Garcia was let go by the league from the supervisory role, yeah, he has a comment on this too. And he's paraphrasing Garcia here. Says West of Garcia. I don't want to be in a situation where I have a conflict of interest because he's my son-in-law, West recalled Garcia explaining. And then he said, quote, I'm just not going to write a report on him. So Garcia goes and sees Vic because he's related to him and he wants him to do well. But he's not going to write a report on him because he doesn't want the conflict of interest showing up. He doesn't want anything to do with the evaluations. And that's the main issue here. Garcia says that he was let go because Manfred had a problem. It was Manfred. Manfred didn't like whatever, and Manfred got rid of him. Commissioner Manfred. Interesting, because part of Angel Hernandez's lawsuit is Torrey, who reports to Manfred, so it starts and ends, again, with Manfred. Does MLB have a culture problem? That's the story here. That's the question to ask, and that's why we're reporting it as presented by the Associated Press in this most recent thing. Just a very interesting thing that the Angel Hernandez lawsuit may indeed expose a larger systemic problem in baseball than just Angel Hernandez being mad at baseball. Or maybe not. What's your take? Visit us online at closecallsports.com, Twitter and Facebook at Umpire Ejections. We'll see you on the site.